very, very good, and he's going to need to be, because the stubbornness of this man when he has to hunt. Right, watch him now. Right, if this goes above, anyway, look, he's moving over to hunt for a 60, Dan. That's not really on show.
90.
Hit it, hasn't he?
What a way to start. But you get my drift, and what can happen is that I just feel sometimes he comes up a little trebolous too often.
Well, here's a bit of info for you. Something that Lawrence Alagan could try doing for the first time this weekend.
Right.
Hitting a double. Every single one of them has been hit by Paolo Nebrida so far in this tournament for Philippines.
My word, that sums Lawrence up.
59.
Yeah, all 4 against Latvia and all 4 in that unbelievable comeback against Belgium.
Yes. Yeah, Lawrence in that. He hit a 1-3-4 to leave the 24, and it was a shot that was so needed. And in my opinion, that's why they're here. He can hold it together, he can do it. But in beating the Welsh team, you've really got to play well for elongated spells. And I rest my case, Your Honour.
40.
And Lawrence Alagan, we have seen plenty of him over the years. Played at Alicpali a number of times. This is 8th appearance at the World Cup of Darts. But the Philippines have never got to the quarter-final stages before. Win this game, it is not only another huge scalp, but it is territory they have not reached before. And they might be doing it with Paolo Nebrida playing in his very first World Cup.
He's a very good player, isn't he?
96.
And it's good to see Johnny Clayton starting to play well again. Just went off the boil for a while, but been in the winner's circle recently.
85.
Even when Gerwin Price plays poorly, it's still world class.
And they've got the upper hand in this opening leg, the Welsh. We're going to get a look at that 83.
That had no rhythm at all, that. Going to need to be better than that. And this is a leg that they threw first. No way, Johnny! Johnny, look at the scoreboard, pal! Oh.
He did not need to do that. The Philippines, as good as they are, cannot finish 1-7-1.
And if he leaves tops with 25 left, I don't. Right, okay, it's still doable though. Only 2 darts at a double. Just 2 darts at a double. It was nearly 1. Oh, that's a bit of effort.
Game shot the first time. Wales.
Cleaned up, much to the relief of Johnny Clayton.
Game on.
Interesting that the Welsh have chosen Johnny Clayton to lead off in legs.
Yeah.
43.
Do you get it?
I'm not exactly sure. Particularly, look, Johnny Clayton is a higher ranked player. He's the Welsh number 1, which is perhaps overlooked at the minute because Gerwin Price, obviously, big for the Premier League, had a very good Premier League campaign. He's winning more floor titles than anybody else this year. But Johnny Clayton is high ranked. But even though he's high ranked, he's always said, Gezzy's my captain when we play in the World Cup. He's the guy, as far as I'm concerned, in this team.
100.
Yeah, I would have Gezzy thrown first, I have to say, because of that dynamic. That's a superb marker for Paolo. It's an even better one, actually.
100.
That's what he does. Are you a believer in the start is everything, Dan? I believe when you're a lesser pairing, let's be honest, Paolo and Lawrence are not as good as Johnny and Gezzy. Do you think that if they do go 2-1, 3-1, they'll start panicking?
Well, I mean, that is a conclusion you could draw, but then you don't have to look that far back and say, I don't know, last night against Belgium when they were 3-0 down and 1-4-3.
I think the format dictates your feelings.
Right. Well, you've made yours clear.
Said this before, I think it says more about me about panicking from 2-1 down in a race to 8.
Well, they can certainly do with breaking back quickly. And that is a perfect first start from Paolo Brink. That one's pretty good as well.
He's milking it for time, isn't he? Wow. 60, stop. You drop your flight, Paolo. There you go, pal.
Johnny Clayton should start on the treble 20. Will he start on the treble 20? No, but it's treble 20 now. And now it's tops.
78.
For those watching at home that do play darts, if you want 118, do not go the way that Johnny Clayton just went. If you hit the 54, you then bring the bullseye into play.
How does he hit that?
Well, he's going for the right-hand side. This has to be accurate. Oh! Look at him! Look at him! How can you not love him, mate? Oh! Lawrence, go off the other way, pal, because you're walking the way of the cameras. Come on.
He's walking where he wants. He's just hit his first double of the whole tournament. It's taken him 9 attempts, but Lawrence was a little hop and a shuffle and all sorts of stuff. Gavin Price not particularly impressed. Certainly not as much as Wayne Mardell.
Well, he was looking at switching. It was a great double top. The drama that he creates. Now I know why he doesn't go for 57s often.
26.
Lawrence, stay on the hidden 60, pal.
Well, Lawrence Ilagan, he's in his mid-40s now. He is the #1 on the Asia Tour. And there's some serious players there.
Yeah.
Not just the #1 of the Philippines, #1 in that whole lot. A lot of very good Filipino players, a lot of Japanese players. As you see, Paul Lim's still up there.
Yeah, we do kind of, well, I do. I joke that he's great fun to watch, but I like him, Dan, because he is quality. And he's great to watch. He's an entertainer. He enjoys the game. And the fact that he's so good with all his idiosyncrasies says something. He's got a natural ability, Lawrence. And let me tell you, technically, when you look at his follow-through, and that's twice he's done that in 3 legs, and it's just trying to hit a 60 that is that little bit hidden.
And look, you made the point before he even threw his first dart. His dart's going quite flat, bit like Johnny Clayton. Johnny Clayton and Lawrence Ilagan, they go over the top, that's easy.
Yes.
But if you're trying to jam them underneath, it's harder. And particularly with a really rigid flight like Lawrence has got, you clip a bit of that and it can just divert off or bounce out entirely, like we've already seen a couple of times in this game.
Yeah, perfectly described.
100. Welsh require 121.
It's been a good leg from the Welsh against the darts. It's looking like another break.
64.
Definitely understated behaviour so far from the Welsh, especially Gavin Price. We're used to seeing him animated, not that much yet. Conserving energy.
Might well be in these roasting conditions. But it is a third breaker throw in this game. Johnny Clayton pinning tops, putting him back in front. Yeah, we didn't see Gavin play in this last year. He was concerned about the heat. He's had various health problems. Basically, the main reason, his hands are swelling up in the heat. He finds it very difficult to hold the dart properly. It affects his game. He had this issue and he's been trying to manage it in loads of different ways for a number of years. But this is the one where it's really problematic. But as you can see, he has trimmed down in recent weeks. He's hoping that'll help. But maybe he's just keeping a lid on things as well.
I get it. And if you are going to keep a lid on it, tomorrow is the day to keep a lid on it. That is a long day of darts tomorrow.
100.
Cup collection day at the World Cup in Frankfurt. Quarter-final in the afternoon, semi-final and final in the evening. It's likely, well, the odds suggest they'll be involved. There's a lot of darts to play.
100.
Only time will tell.
Just over 3,500 in here tonight to the Ice Sports Halle in Frankfurt. And Johnny Clayton has just served up the first Welsh 180 of the evening for them.
It really has become the home of the World Cup, Dan, isn't it? It feels like it.
Absolutely. I think there's a few players who don't like the heat and wish it'd go somewhere else, but it looks like it's here to stay because it works.
140. Welsh require 121.
Yeah, the sun's quite reliable.
Double 14 for a 1-2-1.
93.
Couldn't get much closer without hitting it.
Philippines require 161.
It would have been the first hold of throw. Paolo hunting down the six. He really is staring at it. It's a Bob Anderson stare. It's not a Bob Anderson dart.
54.
Messi
required 28.
takes a little bit of pressure off Johnny Clayton here for 3-1.
Wrong side of the marker.
No score.
And that was the right side, but the wrong weight, and not quite the right line anyway. And could we see yet another break of throw?
I love the fact that he wasn't stopping. He's not making a meal of this, is he? Oh, did you hear the click of the wire? He kept the rhythm up there. Really good to see from Lawrence. Oh.
The lid's come off. Going Price has arrived.
We have waited the best part of 11 minutes for that. Come on now. Don't keep us waiting.
He can't help himself. Even if he's gone up there personally saying, no, I'm going to keep calm tonight. Yeah. None of the shouting is happening. We already have an Asian team through to the quarterfinals. Hong Kong, who have been sensational so far.
Wow.
In this tournament. And they are the first Asian team through to the last 8 since Japan did it in 2019. We have never seen 2 Asian teams qualify for the quarterfinals in the same World Cup. That could happen. But the Philippines need to beat Wales here. And Paolo Negrida could be key.
140.
Technically, so sound. So sound. It was a good save in the end. Really important leg, I felt, for the Philippines. 3-2, absolutely fine. 4-1. Not going to say it's a darting disaster, but it would be an uphill task from there.
60.
He's all around that track. He's all around the targets he's going for at the minute.
Yeah.
$137.
The other 3 players on this stage are averaging in the 90s. Lawrence Alagan's in the mid-70s.
Yeah. He's had a few bad visits.
$97.
Needed every bit of that 57. The next 30 or 40 seconds, I think, may decide this game.
140.
That is a serious question being asked of the Philippines. Gerwin Price sets up the ferret. He's just all around it.
56. Wales require 36.
For 4-1. That is a good dart, because the first dart, the way Johnny's going, wasn't really a marker. And that was another breaker throw, and now with the darts leading 4-1. Early on, the writing is on the wall, and Dan, Wales are playing better.
59.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid start, this, from the Welsh. See, even there, where he gets his first dart in the treble, he's high in the bed, and it's not really where he wants it.
100.
He wants it low so he can stack on top.
Yeah. And by stopping moving over, the rhythm goes. It's really not that simple. It's difficult when you're playing in a staccato fashion. 2 out of 3, not bad, Gezi. Excellent crowd, brilliant atmosphere this evening.
100.
He is methodical, Talon Abrida, and he's not the quickest player, but there is a noticeable rhythm. If he's not having to move around, there's some regularity. Some real regularity to the good stuff Johnny Clayton's throwing at the minute. Twice a winner on the PDC Tour this year. Picked up a Euro Tour and one of the floor titles, both in the Netherlands.
100.
In the win over
140.
Belgium down in the Philippines, Abrida was the boss, wasn't he? He was the governor in that game.
Oh, but this, to be really bossing this one.
120.
Double 10 missed by the Iceman for a 140 checkout, but Johnny Clayton's coming back, and with 3 darts at double, you usually know what's going to happen.
They really are in total control of this last 16 match.
140.
Another good visit. Emphatic.
Wales.
Well,
Philippines.
we know that
Game on.
darting entertainment is fun, but these two, there's no drama about it, is there? No drama at all.
Well, the unfortunate thing here, look, you can see there, they're getting so many more chances, and it's because they're both playing very, very solid stuff. Clayton and Price are both averaging high 90s. Abrida is averaging a ton.
Yeah.
But Lawrence Ilagan is just all around the trebles, all around the doubles. He's just
41.
not quite at it. And ultimately, it means they're not getting chances. The chances they are getting are low quality ones and rare. And Wales are just running away with this at the minute.
No disrespect is meant to Dimitri van den Berg and Mike De Decker. Over that
100.
short format and a few missed darts here and there, you can get turned over. When you're playing this long format against these
100.
two, you're not going to get away with one of you being off. And Lawrence is off.
Yeah, 7 match darts the Philippines survived against Belgium. It could have been over.
Yeah.
This is better. Much better from Lawrence Ilagan.
A much needed hold of throw if they can.
100.
You'd assume so from here.
121.
For a rare 12 dart leg.
It was 11 dart leg earlier this afternoon from Team Hong Kong.
97.
That's a great setup. Will there be any pressure on Lawrence? He's hoping none. Oh, love that. Oh,
140. Philippines have required 24.
Feels like it has to go. Double 6. That is so close. Can he slide in next to it?
12.
He can, but not the right side.
Welsh have required 120.
well, this could be curtains. It's going to feel like the beginning of the end for me.
100.
Got to go, Paolo.
Philippines have required
Double 3 to sink the Belgians. Is he going to need it again? Or is he going to go straight at it and in? That was needed. Going to feel like they're a long way behind, but 5-2 will feel miles better than 6-1.
But it's Lawrence Ilagan, the Filipino captain, the #1 in the whole of Asia at the minute, and the reigning Asian Championship winner, who has not hit his stride. That's proved to be the difference so far, but there is still time for them to pull off an unlikely comeback. It was unlikely last night when they beat the Belgians and knocked them out of the tournament. This is an even taller order.
140.
Yeah, it was unlikely last night, I suppose, yeah. No, I'm thinking, I'm trying to look on a positive. You're right. This just seems impossible.
140.
But not if he ups his game. That winning leg, their second leg before the break, just felt like an absolute must.
134.
But let's get this right, Dan. The way they're playing, this is Championship World Cup winning material from Wales.
And we know they can win. Look, the last time these two playing as a pair, obviously didn't play last year. The year before they were a pair, they won it. The year before that, they were beaten in the final only by Australia.
Yeah.
So you've got to go back to 2022 for the last time these two lost a game playing together.
And the 2 years before that, they won it again.
Yeah.
Or for the first time.
100.
They are a phenomenal pairing, there's no doubt about it. Their off games are very good. What a situation to be in.
And it's like they said in the little interview earlier on, in pairs format, you know you're not going to both beat your best all the time, so the other guy has got to do a bit of the heavy lifting, and they have done that so well over the years.
Yeah.
But when they're both playing well like they are tonight, they can be devastating.
102. Philippines should require 161.
You know you're in trouble when this has to go. Yes. Oh. He looks likely to me. He really does.
Welsh should require 25.
Different route for the 25 for Johnny Clayton compared to Gerwyn Price. But he might just be, when on form, as good as anybody in the world at tidying those shots.
Yeah. And his darts for double eight, Dan, the way that they sit, they angle slightly away from it. So it's like a perfect marker if he's anywhere near the wire on the outside.
And Lawrence Logan demonstrate that's probably the best first start he's thrown in his entire game there. Low central, treble 20. He needs to do that more. If he does that more, the game gets easier for him.
100%.
Game's getting easier for those two at the minute because the lead just keeps on increasing.
Yeah. Anything that can give you a rhythm just makes you feel better. I think we're in that realm again of this is a must-win leg.
Well, we're not far away from every leg being a must-win leg for the Philippines. .306
starts on the 20s. Lawrence.
60.
305's an awkward one, Dan, I believe.
It is, but there are more and more players nowadays who are saying, forget about the maths of it, I'm just going to chuck at the treble 20, and if it's still alive at the last dart, then I'll move somewhere else to leave a finish.
I've changed my way of thinking completely, and it's more or less that. I would stay away from the 18s. You hit the treble 18, you've then got to hit 3 trebles really to leave a shot.
Routes and ways of playing the game,
yeah,
they come into fashion and out of fashion.
Yeah. Tell you what, we'll never go out of fashion. That's piling in the treble 20s, which Wales have done more than the Philippines. If this doesn't go, it really has to be set up quite nicely. There's no need to try and hunt it down. No need, Lawrence.
He will not be told. He will not be denied.
So stubborn.
43.
Like a dog with a bone, but it's not a particularly tasty one.
Slightly off. 60.
65. Philippines require 103.
There's way more pressure on this than Paolo would have liked. Feels like a must go. 51 for 32.
Welsh requires 60.
This to go to the brink of victory. A little shuffle to the right. Ooh, it was close. And that one's in, and Wales are a leg away. And truth be told, Price and Clayton have controlled this game from very early on, and they've not let it get away from them at all.
Yeah. to me, this feels like the Welsh can do this standing on their heads,
97.
because I don't think either have played brilliant, Dan. I just think they've both played really well, and this is not a level that they can't get to every day. I believe that this is the first marker, really,
43.
of a pairing that is, this is us. Do you fancy it?
They're here to win it. Again. And it might just do it. That drags the average up to nearly 98 as a pair. Every single leg of this game has only gone 5 or 6 visits. There's been no real bad legs, there's no utterly stunning ones, but it has been a consistently very good level from the Welsh.
100.
I'm trying to think of a time when the Philippines have had literally 3 or 6 darts off. Maybe 3 once they've had.
60.
But that's about it. That can become very much of a chore, and in the end you miss.
Well, it is looking very much like we'll have to settle for just the one Asian team in the quarterfinals with Hong Kong, because it's just been too big a task for the Philippines tonight. Truth be told, this would have been too big a task for the vast majority of teams, because the Welsh have impressed.
Well, they may not have been good enough this evening, but they've been game, if not anything else. Still game! Oh, game as a pebble! Whatever that means.
You know what that means. Match start, Johnny Clayton, and the Welsh have won it. The Iceman and the Ferret reunited and delighted with that one. Back together again in Frankfurt and back in the quarter.
Subscribe to my channel.